look how small the writing is. I mean, you basically have to get a magnifying glass out here to look at these. But I thought, okay, how can I get this to go on? And I finally found this. It says water all zones now. And so I press this and see that's zone 1, 8 minutes. I press it again and now it's 2, 8 minutes, 3, 8 minutes. And remember, I want to go down to front drip, and that's station 5. So 4 is 8 minutes, 5 is 30 minutes, 6 is 30 minutes. Then you press it again. I just keep pressing it and it goes back to the time. So I'm not even going to mess with anything else. Usually you can find something like this to turn it on manually. Okay, so now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30 minutes. Let's go out there and kind of take a look-see. Here's some of the tools I leave at my mother's when I come, and usually I can find something here that will help me fix whatever it is. And sometimes when I come here, I bring my nail bag. This is my pop's old nail bag, and I've filled it up with all kinds of different tools that I have, and his old drill, and his 12-volt battery operated drill with a little battery charger. I mean, it works, so I keep using it. Okay, let's go out there. We should have 30 minutes for drip irrigation, and if this is working, I would think that should be plenty of time. I'm going to come out here. See, there's the end. That's the end of a line that zigzags all the way through here, and then it gets tied in because I've redone this, and I put that on my channel years ago, and I ended up having to do some other things over there, so I know it's on, right? So I go back over to here, and this line I put a Y back in here, stopped it here, and then I went around the corner and zigzagged around and put these little inline bubblers all through this little area here. And I can see that's going. And I can lift on there, and I see that that's dripping. It's not dripping a whole lot, but my word, those geese, can you hear them? They're over on the other side. Anyways, with it being on for 30 minutes, don't you think that should be enough water? It's not dripping a whole lot, but it doesn't have to drip that much. Okay? Listen to them. And so I look along here because I wanted to make sure none of them were plugged up. That one's working. Now see, this inline one here is not dripping as much, but 30 minutes. Drip, drip, drip. That should be plenty of water to not only get this one, then it runs, and it can get this one, it can get this one here. This one here is for these two. See, it's dripping. So my point of view is the reason why this is kind of dead is because it started getting like this after her other timers started acting up. Okay, and I still look at this. See, that one's dripping fine. See, here's one here. This one's dripping. There's another one that's dripping. I know these are all working in here, don't I? Because look how nice these are. Eventually, those should get just as big as these. I forget what these are, but they're really good for middle of the summer. Okay, so there's that one, and I wanted to look at this one, and I look in there. Sure enough, this one's dripping plenty. I probably should have put a dripper in there that wasn't going as fast. They have them. That might be a 1 gallon per hour, or it could be 2 gallon per hour. I think it's 1 gallon per hour, but you know what? You can even get those as low as 0.5 gallon per hour. But I thought, you know what? See how this is dripping underneath? It's dripping right out of the bottom of that. That's because there's so much water in there. I don't mind because now it's going down and it's dripping on this plant. Remember last time I was here, I put this in and I didn't want to, that's an old planter. And the line, the sprinkler line went all the way through there, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put a dripper in there, and I'm just going to put it on top of the pot. So I put it right through this little hole in the pot. And that was to hold a 3-prong thing, kind of like these, on something like that. And I just left it in there, and I thought, okay, this will get these. These are the same thing as that. So see, it's dripping fine. But this was the one over here. She was saying, it's not getting enough water, Joe. And I thought maybe this line here was plugged up. But do you see it? Let's see if you can see that without me even touching it. Look, right there. That's plenty of water. And before, it was going down over in there. And I looked, and there's 2 of these plants in here. One is there, the big trunk area is there, and then there's another one right in here. And so the water was right there. That should be plenty for there, but I kind of pulled it back and redirected this so it's kind of hitting in between the 2. I thought, you know what? I don't have to do anything with this. Motha is just... It's just giving me a bunch of malarkey here. I'm going to have to tell her that everything is fine. I told her I would check it out. And even the other thing is, see how the water is around this? Why is that? This is why. Look, this is full of water all the way up to the top. That tells me that's working fine, if anything. And she says, oh, I water this every morning. And Mommy said, yeah, I watered it this morning too. Well, maybe they're overwatering it because they thought there wasn't enough water in there, and it could be getting too much water. So I'm gonna have to tell my mother, don't water it anymore. Just let the drip irrigation do its business every morning. Okay, but I'm glad I checked the things out. I'm glad I checked them out, and it's really easy to check out your drip irrigation. That's why I came out here. I thought I better check it, make sure, because sometimes the bubblers get clogged. You may have to cut the end of the bubbler off and replace it with another bubbler, let's say. Or if it's dripping really super slow, maybe it's a bad bubbler anyways. Or maybe you just think, you know, maybe I should add a second bubbler. I could have cut this off and put a T in there and added another bubbler, but I don't need to do that. Because this one's fine. Now I can report to her everything's working just the way it should be. And because she's got that new timer on there, I think she's not going to have any more issues. Okay. I'm glad that's over with. Wasn't much to that. All I had to do was check it. And see, it's only been a few minutes. Granted, I had this on a little bit earlier, and there's plenty of saturation in here, correct? So we can all go back there and tell my mother all is well. And she'll take my word for it that, okay, at least Joe has done his due diligence, and has showed me everything. When she gets home, I can tell her, and I can actually show her, because I'm sure she doesn't know how to do all this kind of stuff. But this, I don't know which one this is. It's the Rainbird, and the guy told her he had a specific one in mind that he wanted from the store. She got the exact one that he told her, and I probably shouldn't even mess with it, but that was kind of him to come out here and do that. So here's the other thing I wanted to tell you. If you're in a 55-year-old or older community, usually they'll have a group of people who go around and do handy helpers. So they go around and they help people who need help doing stuff. They'll install new timers. They go inside and install new smoke detectors, change out your smoke detector batteries, change out your filters on your air conditioner, return airs. They'll do all replacing burned out light bulbs. Maybe you can't get up to, you feel uncomfortable getting up on a high ladder or something. They do all kinds of stuff like that. So think about that next time you're wanting something done and you're in a neighborhood 55 years or older. And like I said, we just happen to be in a Del Web, and they have all kinds of groups you can join, and people just like to help other people. Okay, well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. Well, I can mark that one off my list. Last but not least, one question for you. When you go to your mother's, do you have to wait until Mother's Day in order to do something for her around the house? Absolutely not.